just want to show how to. I'm trying to make a grid where I can do a 3D elevation. So I'm putting guidelines. This is like here's an example of with the guidelines in this component that I'm editing or group item. Not sure. You can then outside of it, you can come in here and hit the dots. Right. I'm going to show that in a second, but I want to finish adding these. Next thing I want to show is this is so much easier using it on the computer versus trying to use it on the iPad. The iPad is helpful, but for things like this where you got a lot and you want to see the whole thing, it's better when you have a bigger screen. It's smoother, and I can reach these things a little easier. So anyway, so I've got to put in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 remaining dots. And if I look here, one of the other things about this is if I want to see like how far this grid line has been offset, right to the right when I hover over it'll say minus 4.5, and that's accurate for for that particular measurement. For whatever reason, it doesn't show it if you click the select item and click it. It doesn't tell you, like in the info. Let me give you an example. So if I click this, it's highlighted. If I go to the entity info, it's saying whether or not it's tagged or not. But if you're using this ruler, then it'll tell you that guide point's 3.5 off from that plane. So anyways, most people would have pay the money and get the pro, and they would use a tool for this. But let's add some points. So so that looks like it's going straight up, right? Maybe like over here, it's got snap on to the 1/4 inch, but in reality, it's the blue. The blue is going up parallel to that axis over there. So it looks kind of like it's skewed, but it's not. And then you can just type. If you look down in the lower right, so right down here, you'll see where I'm correcting it. So right now it's at 5. I want it 2.75, so I can just type. On the iPad, you would have to draw that line and then click over to where the measurement thing is, and then you would have to click on the screen to put 2.75. It's easier just hitting the numpad here on the desktop. The guide point's there. That's going to be a 3. And then this next guide point is going to be a 2. And I'm pulling it further so that I can make sure it's in the blue. So anyway, so if I come back out, see how this box is highlighted? That box is highlighted around the grid. Now I'm out of the grid and turn the grid off. I can put the fence back and put Salvador, the guy back there, just as a reference. I'm going from that spot. That was where I had 0 with my pole and did my measurements. And then the point of this is I'm going to make an elevation. I also like this kind of neat when you do like so. And I go back to the pencil. It remembers that I was in pencil mode. Oops. the mouse wheel, you can kind of zoom in and it'll kind of click to the snap, so it's so much better than using just the iPad. The iPad works, but I kind of look at it now as it's a convenience tool. This one was a 0, just conveniently was at the same level. There's another 0. So if you see that red line that's coming up, I'm not exactly sure when, like, see, it's like snapping to something. I'm not exactly sure how that works, because sometimes if I was drawing the ruler points, it would say, oh, this is equal level, so I'm going to draw a line, and sometimes it wouldn't, even though it was supposed to be at the same level. Alright, and then just for grins, the dirt will also, you're going to draw a contour in all dimensions, right? So according to that grid, don't know why this didn't fill in. It should have filled in. Once again, I don't know why that didn't happen. Don't know why that didn't happen. I'm gonna escape. Oh, sop off that point. Don't know why that one didn't fill in. Don't know why some of them are filling in, others aren't, but whatever. Maybe it's because it's too irregular or something. I don't know. And that wouldn't do it all, but we're sitting here. Let's kind of put them as much in as possible, and then we'll stop the video. the only thing I'm doing is I'm just hitting escape, like when it's trying to draw from the next one over, because you don't want that necessarily, right? You want to go just from your measurement point. There's probably a hotkey for this. I guess I'll know what it is. Hmm. Yeah, so I don't know why. With that said, some of these turn into a surface and others don't. My understanding is if all four coordinates are making a box, it's supposed to draw a surface. So, like, why this one doesn't draw a surface and that one does, say like that. Let's just try to draw the corners again. Endpoint to endpoint to endpoint to endpoint to endpoint. It doesn't make it. Got me. If you go back, turn the grid off, put the, if everything's in, so that'll kind of make our surface. And that is so much faster than, this will be the ground for the elevation, and then it will, I can pull down, and I'll be able, once I pull down, I can start cutting things away. I can make this one big component, It's another day. I'll save this and I'll show you why I'm doing it. This other one, I tried to do it like this. I had these as individual components, and so like when I was cutting, trying to draw the French drain, which was, I didn't really care. Out here, I'm not really caring about what the exact elevation is because it's already dug, and I'm not going to be laying block, and I'm just really kind of learn the tool, and that's legitimate, right? It's showing the 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 top is not correct, but the bottom and the width, that is correct. It's going up. You can see it at the, it's uphill, and then it looks narrower, but it's not narrower. It's coming up to this point, which is where it's supposed to go across. But it was just such a pain in the butt, and I had to draw a lot of different shapes to get it to fill in. These are just guides. And I think I erased the French drain that was there already. But this was tedious because each one of these were a square, and then I deflected them, and they're all one piece, and I was trying to do the smoothing. You can see how some of them kind of push down versus extracted, and there were a lot of these like just trying to draw geometry to get it to be a solid. So I'm thinking that this is the proper way to do it.